The name of the new album is Songbook Live because it was taken from the first songbook tour that I ever did, which is all acoustic. It's just me and a guitar, one-man show. And somewhere in the middle of it, I just felt like there was something magical happening, particularly with the audience. You know, it just felt like it was an intimate environment that I'd never been able to create consistently night after night. So we had been recording most of the shows, so I decided it would be a good idea to find some songs and put it out for the fans live.
Somehow you decided that you would find.
I went through, God, I don't know, 12 or somewhere between 12 and 20 entire shows, which are 2.5 hours long. So multiples of like the same song over and over again, and there was no other way to do it than just listen to every performance all the way through. Sometimes there were technical problems that we didn't know about during the recording. Sometimes one performance was just not as good as another one. Just kind of kept narrowing it down until I decided what it should be. Songbook tour, I guess, started, with the idea a few years back when I did about an hour and 10-minute all-acoustic show in Stockholm, Sweden, and it was recorded, and I didn't know it was recorded. And when I got back from Europe, they were playing some of the songs on the radio, and ever since probably 1990, when I did the song Seasons for Cameron Crowe's movie Singles, I'd had fans sort of assuming at some point I would do an all-acoustic record or something that was essentially as stripped down as that. So it was an idea that had kind of been in play for a long time. I did a couple of shows in the LA area acoustically, but they were spread out over the course of a year or two. And it wasn't the same as just going out and doing an entire tour and really actually kind of figuring out what that is and what that means to me, because I've never done it. I've always been in a really loud, aggressive rock band, which is the opposite. So at some point, I decided I just wanted to not do warm-ups, just go do it for real. And had such a great time, and the audience responded so well to it that I just wanted to kind of continue to do it. Went to Australia, South America, back in the US, did some Canadian dates, several, and hopefully we'll take it to Europe.
No, it ain't me. As you lay sleeping with your eyes softly shut.
The turntable came into play when I was looking at different songs that I felt like I wouldn't be able to represent that well necessarily with just an acoustic guitar. And it's something that's still kind of developing. I'm still figuring out songs that I can press. Although the turntable's electronic and it doesn't really look old-timey, it definitely has that feel. I mean, it's, they're real albums pressed for this purpose, and you hear it and it sounds like an album. And it's something that I'll do more of, I think, because there's other songs that I can represent better that way than just trying to play it on an acoustic guitar and sing.
Above the crowded sky, over the downstruck world, we will run.
Soundgarden's been writing and recording for a new album starting, I guess, maybe like 8 months ago. We're kind of in the final stages, really. We're just finishing up a couple of songs, we have a little bit more to do, and then mixing and then narrowing down what we want to release, and that's it. And it's been great. It's been a Soundgarden production, really, with the co-producer Adam Casper that worked with us on our last album. And everybody's in there all the time, and it just feels like, in a sense, like we're picking up where we left off, with the exception of there's a feeling of freshness because we had 14 years off or so, but it feels more like about 5 to me. It just feels like we had a long break. We did do one album, our SST album, Ultra Mega OK. We recorded most of it in a little town outside of Portland, Oregon. And then we recorded some drum tracks for Bad Motor Finger in Sausalito, but other than that, everything we've ever done is in Seattle.
The glass. Wait.
Someone early on, I think, in my career with Soundgarden, that was an unlikely person that inspired me was Tom Waits. And lyrically, I could feel like that inspiration showed up starting around Bad Motor Finger. Musically, I don't know that it ever really did. But to me, what was important, and still is, having just bought his latest record and listened to it, and still feel like he's growing artistically, that someone can have a really, really long career and always still be redefining who they are artistically and what they do, and always being vital and never necessarily having a career where they feel like they're looking back into one specific sunny period a couple of decades before and kind of revolving around that. That thought terrified me by the time I was 22 years old. You know, I was already looking ahead, imagining that whatever it is that I'm doing that's critically accepted will someday be considered old, and in a sense, no matter how much fans love it or I love it, it will feel nostalgic if I'm not moving forward and trying and doing new things. You know, there are only a handful of people that I can look at that had some period of like super culturally relevant vitality, and then managed to kind of keep some spark of new inspiration just kind of constantly throughout. Because that's what's exciting about music. That's what's fun about it. It's not about figuring out what people like. It's about figuring out what's possible in music, and then you're just hoping to God people like it.
Cleaning my car.
Well, you know, the album very much is just something that I want to give back to the fans that supported the tour and that still do, and that's why I put it out there. And I'm just happy that a lot of people have responded so positively to both. So thank you.